a new Minivan Musician.
As long as I can make a sound, my artistry will be around. Long after I'm in the ground and one person feels what I spit, I have purpose. It was worth it.
Minivan Musician episode 41. It's like pitch black, so I can't see your face right now. But he's throwing fishing crap out there to fish right now. Night fishing in the creek by our house. I've got the kids in the back seat right now, so trying to stay somewhat quiet.
So we got some raw sausage on there.
Raw sausage. That's Verb's favorite thing. He likes that raw sausage.
Yo. Yeah, so this is how you manage your time. It's exactly how you do it. We got a lot going on, so let's get into the thing.
Micah, I need you to not sing right now, okay? He's singing Freddy Krueger songs.
Yeah, I'll be quiet back there.
Micah, do you hear me? Thank you. So first things first, make sure you go back to last week's Minivan and check out the Q&A session that we did.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, we answered some viewers' questions.
Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, tap that bell. I never stress that enough.
Yeah.
Got a lot of people viewing, a lot of people checking us out. Subscribe because we're getting more and more active with creating things. But yeah, go ahead.
I guess, we'd like to do that again, so feel free to drop us some suggestions or questions in the comments. So why is this episode titled The One with the Sobriety? What?
Oh, yeah, I didn't tell you about that.
No.
Well, because on the 29th, I believe it's next Thursday.
Oh, that's right.
It'll be 2 years since I had a sip of alcohol.
Yay.
I was having more than sips, even on that last day. But
it's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, I think so. I have little notes for tonight because we covered a lot of stuff, and I don't want to take up an hour of people's time. So, yeah, it was just, everybody has their own way of dealing with this thing, and almost everybody out there has some kind of addiction that at some point they're going to have to try to address. And one thing that I realized is that I kind of took like my obsession for substances, for using something, and turned it into an obsession for recovery. As weird as that sounds, it's not as broad as it sounds, meaning all of the stuff that I would do, all of the exercises I would do to kind of keep my mind busy and have my body the way I wanted it to be, and get my emotions right. All of those things that I did became a routine almost.
Mm-hmm.
A machine, kind of. I was like a machine, like creating someone who was pretty much better in every way. I'm going to warn people, one thing that I found out, because I have to do therapy and shit for probation or whatever, which therapy is a good thing for everybody, to be honest, but one thing I'm learning is that, it's funny, I forgot what I was going to say there. You forget your memories.
Mm-hmm.
If you're using, whether it's opiates, alcohol, it doesn't matter what it is, you may even have some great times. And you kind of remember, like, the summary, like, oh, I did this. You may see a picture, but you can never kind of look back and live in those moments. If you're using during that time and you get clean, it's like all of that time is gone. And, I mean, I wasn't even as far gone as the vast majority of people that go through this, and still no memories. That really sucks. It's kind of like if you have a family, I learned you got to really devote yourself to that. Lock yourself into it, be an integral, useful part in it. Even if it's a family situation where they may hate you because of what you did in those situations, lock yourself into it, use it if you have to. Even if you're not happy with it, even if you know they don't fucking want you there, use it. Eventually they won't mind you too much.
Stop throwing stuff back there.
Another thing I want to say was, like, there is help everywhere. But be careful with help nowadays. A lot of it's like enablement.
It's backhanded help.
Yeah, it's backhanded help. It's enablement. It's bullshit. It's cliche.
Recovery's trendy these days.
Yeah. And I mean, me personally, I used it to help me find something within. Excuse me, I don't know what that's about. And once you find something within, allow yourself to get really selfish. Allow yourself to focus on you, almost obsess over you. Then kind of return to help others. That part of the program I do believe in. I need to do more of that because, you know, it's kind of a selfish giving. What you're going to get out of it may be even more than what the other person gets out of it. It's going to keep you on the right track. It's kind of like you retain 90% of what you learn. Well, normally you're going to stay sober if you're basically fucking lecturing somebody on staying sober. So when you find it, you'll know what's right for you. 90 and 90 isn't for everybody. That would have like basically ruined me. Too many meetings. I've mentioned it before. Makes me think of alcohol. Like I was saying, I devoted myself to my family. What I had to do to keep my family where it needed to be, kind of rehabilitating myself physically and all that, and eventually working on the emotions and everything. And I'm not thinking about drinking. But you stick me in those fucking meetings. That's all they're about. So, in hip hop, get y'all shit together. That was the other note I had in here. Hip hop really is truly full of fucking addicts at this point. I mean, even the people you would least expect, you end up finding that shit out, and it's sad. And like I've said a million times before, and I know others have said it, hip hop is not like a culture of addicts. That was one great thing you could say about hip hop. Kind of like my dad gave me one fucking compliment in my whole life, and it was, he's not a druggie. You know, he'll sell some drugs, but he don't use drugs. You know what I'm saying? He was almost like proud of that because he was a fucking addict, and so was everybody around him.
Is an addict.
And eventually I got, you know, physically addicted to alcohol. I mean, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, hip hop, get y'all shit together, man. Like, just, I sound like an old head here, but just look back at, I don't know, man, like the early 90s or something, man. You can say what you want about those artists. You can call them lame. You can say the shit that they was on, what they was rapping was bullshit. But none of them cats was on heroin. None of them cats was on bars. None of them cats was on Percocets. You know, maybe a line here or there, you know what I'm saying? But at that point, none of them was crackheads, you know what I'm saying? So hip-hop, get y'all shit together. But yeah, I'm happy. It's been 2 years. It's been more than 2 years for any kind of drugs. The alcohol was the hardest for me. And yeah, it seems like it's only been a year. I was thinking, hey, I'm coming up on a year.
No.
So...
After a while, you kind of don't count as much.
Line. You can keep,
Oh, God. He wants me to keep talking.
I'm not careful. I'm going to have to, like... I'm going to end up showing y'all some perch and bluegills before we get done here.
I guess if you know me, then you already know about my whole, journey with recovery and all the things that I've done, working in the recovery community, etc., and the whole movement that I helped orchestrate couple years ago, with the fuck heroin and not one more thing that I was running. Just leave it though at what he had to say about his recovery and his sobriety, because that's what we were talking about. And I'm not trying to get all into it with me, because I get sick of talking about it very much. So I think he's fucking crazy for wanting to come down here in the middle of the night. I'm so ready to go home and go to bed.
Yeah, like this fishing shit has probably not only kept me from drinking 100 beers, it's probably kept me from punching 100 rappers. Real shit.
There's not even 100 good rappers.
I didn't say good.
Yeah, well, everyone's a rapper, I guess. So what's up with like the music and the channel this week?
Shit, why do I gotta look at notes? I guess I'm just tired. I'm in that weird space where you're exhausted, but you're on caffeine. Shit. Okay, the channel. Today I put up a really good Joe Rogan IDW video talking about immigration. It's really interesting. I mean, and Joe Rogan's the glue that holds the whole IDW thing together. You know, obviously he's the host that has all these guys on. But when he gives his own opinions, they're really informed. They're passionate. I put one of his up. I'll probably put up a Dave Rubin one. I'll link here to the playlist for the IDW videos. What we do is we take the long-form conversations from guys like Jordan Peterson, Dave Rubin, Joe Rogan. I had Hate on there, but he's not technically a part of it. But I take those big long conversations, the long form, and find one section that gives you a nice little summary. It gives it to you in a clip. You don't have to watch 2 hours to get to the cool part you want to listen to. You know, I do like a 5-minute thing. So there's that. Planning the docs video. I have the little one with the wire clips in it and all that shit, but we're probably gonna do the docs this week. Gonna do a little more promotion on Weed Wars. Check that out. I guess I'll link that here. Some people sleeping on that. Everybody hears it, loves it. So check that video out. I received the album cover for 1996. Check out Eyes Bleed Defiance. He's one of the illest. He's done covers for Aztec, The Barfly, Chino XL, a lot of people, man. Check out Eyes Bleed Defiance. Here go the album cover. It's a collage of hip-hop albums and press and fashion and stuff like that. It was a part of 1996. Love that cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a great cover.
It really does jump out at you. I think it shows what I'm trying to show.
Yeah.
We're finishing up the final mixes of the album. And I'm having to create promo vids. Y'all gonna see me pop up on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna go try to watch something and I'm gonna pop up like the quintessential boom bap album. And I hope y'all give it the 7 fucking seconds that people give the best commercial. You know, but no, we gotta do the promotion. It'll be on Facebook too. It'll be on everything. We trying to make it interesting for y'all, as you know. If you want to help with the promotion of it, holler. Ain't got a lot of cash, but you know, if you support the cause and stuff like that, definitely look out one way or the other. Still doing the Portage Lake vid. Been planning the next vacation, you know, basically getting the money together, booking things and all of that. We're going to do a best of vid. I don't know if it'll be ready for the 1 year anniversary. And I'm going to be doing a workout vlog where it's super humble. It shows the condition I'm in now. And the reason that I think that it'll be interesting and maybe be helpful or inspirational to people is I'm working with like 2 completely destroyed tendons on my arms, which are pretty fucking important when you're doing like resistance training. I've got a hernia here. I have a digestive problem where my diet has to be ridiculous. There's only like 3 things I can fucking eat. So there's all these, and just like a destroyed shoulder too. So there's all these things I have to work around. And just like with juggling the music and stuff like that, I'm trying to show people you can do this, have good results without all the daunting shit that you probably think is involved in it. So I'm doing that too. So I guess it is a lot. I'm looking at this fucking list I made. I was thinking we ain't doing shit, but there it goes. You're going to have to film me this week in the doc shit. Filming that River Rouge.
As long as I'm not dead by then.
Yeah. You won't be dead. I feel like you're dead, but you won't be dead.
I have an inner ear infection, so it keeps me like real off balance.
It's better than an outer ear infection.
No, it's
like
not.
You had crust on
That'd be
shit.
more comfortable than this. This just sucks. It affects everything. Your brain, your speech, your hearing, your balance
Will
especially.
you stop poking at my head? Okay.
So, hold up. Micah, say hi.
Hi, audience.
Are you excited for Halloween?
Yes, I want to get a bunch of candy.
And what are you being for Halloween?
The Joker.
He's the Joker from Dark Knight, Heath Ledger Joker. It's pretty sweet. Excited.
Yes.
And the baby's being the Cheshire Cat. Oh, he snapped his line.
And you?
I'm being one of the Dio de los Muertos skeleton
And
people.
that is the Terrifier.
Yeah.
From all
Hey, is there any hooks in here?
how was it?
I don't know, is there? So, we're like 15 minutes away from the final presidential debate.
Oh, yeah.
What are your predictions?
They've done the thing that I suggested, but I'm not like a genius or anything. Many people did. That they're going to mute whomever, like right at 2 minutes. They both were guilty of the whole talkover thing last time, but Trump's a little extra with it. And it was kind of, I don't remember we talked about it on here or not, but Trump made a lot of really good points, backbiting into some corners where he couldn't answer questions. He refused to answer questions. That would have really stood out. But the way that Trump acted in the immature fashion made it almost worthless.
Careful
So
back there.
the whole issue is, does it matter? We're extremely close to the election. Anybody who knows about our system knows that it's the electoral vote that matters. We basically elect those electorates. At this point, I've seen projections that say that Trump's going to take it, believe it or not, and they're from reputable sources. It's based on those electoral votes, but there's a few states in there where you're hearing people say that Biden could take them, even though it's, historically a state that the Republicans would take, like, for instance, Pennsylvania. I even heard something crazy that, like, Biden could take West Virginia. Now, the only truth that I could see in that, the only projection I could see in that is because I know that we have, say in Michigan, we have a lot of kind of like libertarian types, kind of like myself, where they really are in the middle. And I think a lot of our electorates, I believe they're called, our electoral voters, I believe a lot of them are that. They're more libertarians. They could be persuaded by a good, I almost said battle, a good debate performance. Meaning if Trump shows strength, quiet strength, leadership, makes his points, stands back a little bit, allows Biden to do. Last time he didn't let him talk enough. Biden can't get through 5 seconds of talking without forgetting where the fuck he is. Mm-hmm. You want to highlight that instead of keeping saying it like, oh, Joe can't do this, Joe can't. No, let Joe show that shit. Let him talk. Shit, give him 5 minutes when he's supposed to have 2. Let him talk, and he'll go all over the place, start talking about his childhood like it's happening right now. So Trump allows Biden to lose where he is and things like that, and steps back and allows him to do that, makes his points, but learns a little bit of restraint. I think that he could actually sway some of those libertarian voters, because I know of some libertarians, and I personally know a few in Michigan who normally would go 100% Republican. They're considering voting for Biden or not voting at all. And some of it has to do with, damn, I don't really know if this guy has grown to be stable enough to handle the way things are right now. And they'll admit that he's been painted into a corner. Trump has been, by the powers that be behind the scenes, the stuff we've talked about, like the cult type of situation. He's been painted into that corner. But the problem is, even though it's not his fault he's there, can he get out? Can he get us out of it? And a lot of people don't think so. So if he shows some poise and he allows Biden to hurt himself, basically, he may sway a couple of those, and it may come down to where that one extra vote or something takes a state that matters. God, I've even heard that the Democrats could take Texas. Now, I think that's insane. I think that's 100% insane. I think it's insane because of California. All the people that are fleeing California to move to Texas because it's so terrible there, basically solidifying what Texans already thought of California and of the Democratic Party. So I don't think that's going to happen. But that's just an example of how close things are. And I hate to say it, but you have your traditionally Democratic states. Those are locked down. And now you kind of have a really close race in the Republican states. I think a few of those people could be swayed tonight. What do you think? You think they could be swayed? Do you think that there's...
I have no comment on all this shit. I let him do the talking on this fucking crap. I'm good.
Well, I wanted to say my piece on this because, like you said, we're about, whatever, now we're like 10 minutes away from the debate. Mm-hmm. I want to see how wildly wrong I am. Mm-hmm. Last time, I kind of saw things going the way they went, but I didn't really expect Trump to make that great point that buries Biden, and before it sinks into people's minds what just happened, rambles on and on and on out of anger and talks over Biden and makes it to where not only does the kind of pettiness, childishness make you not take him serious, but literally the point didn't get to sink into most people. Mm-hmm. See that poor girl, man? This fucking woman was walking out of her, nothing in her hands, knocked that fucking thing over, right? I think it's a big metal thing. She stopped 5 feet away, turned around, noticed she did it, acted like she was going to pick it back up, and then kept walking. So this poor girl got to come over here and pick that shit up. Now here she is looking at her like, yeah, bitch, look what I made you do. I'm gonna leave that one alone because it's obvious what just happened there, and it's
That's shitty. I mean,
on the
that girl
social
works
spectrum.
here, but like,
yeah, but you're gonna knock something over, walk away from it, walk back, be like, yeah, bitch. Like, I mean, that's some hoe ass shit right there, and you kind of see what's happening there. But I'm gonna just leave that be. But next up comes what actually happens in the debate, and we'll see where everything goes from there.
all right, Dan, brother, and that's where we made you point the damn camera.
All right.
So, debate reaction, and go.
All right. Trump toned it down and was very presidential. He made sure to drive home points and made Biden repeat the terrible or just nonsensical things that he said, which was good. That was something that he was really good at way back in 2016. You know, being aggressive and getting you to state what you just stated, to get that sound bite. So everybody remembers, you know, Joe said that he's going to basically dismantle the oil industry. He also compared the way that Trump is handling, you know, being friendly with Kim Jong-un to keep from a nuclear war happening. He compared that to us being friendly with Hitler before Hitler did what he did, which is ridiculous. But so he got him to repeat that stuff. He got him to say that stuff in the first place by letting him talk, like I had said before. A lot of people had said before. When a guy is known to have the inability to complete a thought, you let him talk so that he digs his own grave. Trump stood firm on the lockdown thing, which I was happy about. I think a lot of America's tired of being afraid. They're starting to smarten up and realize what kind of damage this is doing. And unfortunately, some are learning the hard way from what can happen from it all. And I had said earlier, this more than likely wouldn't sway any voters or anything, but I actually think that it might. There's a lot of libertarians out there who are tired of the government restrictions, the big government, everything, and Trump got Biden to confirm that that's what he's going to do, that he's just going to be a vessel for what the far left has been trying to do. And on top of that, a lot of libertarians, a lot of people in general were on the fence because Trump has gotten less presidential over time as far as the way that he conveys himself. So I think that he may have swayed a few people. Will it be enough for electoral votes to sway those individuals? I have no idea. But you know, he kind of exposed Biden as a lifelong politician. And as much as we know that he is, he kind of called him out on that one part where Joe changed the subject and turned to the camera with the dramatic, you know, politician thing and said, when you sit down at the dinner table and you're missing one of your family members, man, get the fuck out of here. You basically tried to pull your heartstrings and blame Trump. He said Trump deserves to be locked up for 200,000 murders. I don't know how to fucking phrase it. It was stupid. But Trump called him out and said, Joe's doing that politician thing where he turns to the camera and he gets all emotional and he avoids the original subject. And I was like, wow, he did a really good job addressing that. But Trump also did a good job addressing the corruption thing with Biden's family getting money from Russia and the Ukraine and China. He did a good job with that by saying your family and always listing all the people because it hasn't been confirmed that Joe himself benefited from it. But he made sure he said the part of the email, you know, give 10% to the big guy, which would probably be Joe. But all of that, you know, like I said, I made some notes here. I'm just going to glance through them. Oh, the thing I wanted to point out is Biden did the typical Democrat thing that drives me insane. He did the Oprah thing. You get a car, you get a car, you get... If you listen to anything he has to say, called a plan, God, health insurance, we're going to throw the needed money at that. Racial relations, throw money at that. You know, he's, you know...
all the drinking fountains at school will be cherry Kool-Aid.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, he went through, you know, the answer was always, you know, for the middle class who's suffering from COVID, we're going to give the necessary funds. For the actual cure and all that stuff, give the necessary funds. For the small businesses, give the funds, but also force them to pay $15 an hour minimum wage. But yeah, everything was throw money at it. It was the educational system, money. The healthcare system, money. Oh God, the EPA and the environment. Jesus Christ. Throw a lot of money at that. Get rid of the oil industry. Throw money at wind. Throw money at solar.
I know more about wind than you do. That was funny.
That was funny. And you know, Trump does know more about wind than him because he broke it down and said, look, it costs too much. It's a great idea, but right now we're not ready. Same thing with all that shit is right. It's all correct. You know, as far as the numbers go and the truth goes, our air is cleaner than ever. Our water is cleaner than ever. You know, we have a smaller carbon footprint than we've ever had. So all of that stuff is ridiculous. But anyway, it was just, I hate that approach that you ask a guy, well, what are you going to do? He basically says he's going to just throw all this money at everything. It never says where it's going to come from. And trust me, if there was all that money to throw at all these things, Trump would do it. Now, at least when Trump throws money at something, he actually gained it from some deal. He has actually done a decent amount of that. So that just drove me nuts. Like, I really hoped for our country that I was wrong, and a lot of Republicans were wrong, as far as Joe being kind of a useless, just terrible candidate who was just like a shill for the rest of that party. But God, I and everyone else who said that was right. He's not as scary as Kamala Harris. Jesus Christ. But anyway, Trump won this debate, point blank period. There's no way in hell anyone can see it differently. And it's interesting, the moderation was okay. And something a lot of people don't know, the moderator was once Joe Biden's intern. And Trump managed to know that, notice a little bit of favoritism going Joe's way again, and handle that pretty well. So, you know, Trump's handlers, Trump's advisors did a good job of telling him what to do, and for once he did a good job of listening. Maybe he listens a little bit more than we know he does. But we'll see what happens. We're not that far away. We're 10 days away, 9 days away?
Yeah. So then you wanted to talk about Halloween, I guess?
I just didn't have a lot to say except that it's maybe my favorite holiday. Got a song dropping with DJ Restless. Last year, you know, I'll try and link the Pumpkinheads joint. That shit's ill. It's a good story that we should be sharing more for Halloween and keep it going every year.
Yeah.
That one I did last year. This year is something different. This year's something a little harder, a little more metaphorical. That'll be before Halloween. This video gets the views and interaction that I hope it does. I'll just put it in the comments so that people can go check it out. So they don't have to go to the social media, their website, or anything like that. They can just go to the comments here. But love Halloween. Always got to do a Halloween song. Always got to watch the Halloween movies. This year I'm Art the Clown, and I'm going to trick or treat and give that candy to the kids.
Yeah, the baby's going to be the Cheshire Cat.
They don't know that I'm not a kid. I mean, there are 5'11", 220 kids out there.
That's true.
Plenty of them. I mean, you know, athletes and shit. So, I mean, if my son Donovan could trick or treat, and
that's true.
He's as tall as me now. So, but yeah, we all going. Jake's going. Micah's going. You're going. Baby's going. I love her little costume. I love Micah's costume as a Heath Ledger Joker. We embrace the darkness around here. We embrace that cool shit.
I'm gonna have the baby curl up on my shoulder like the cat.
Yeah. I think it'll be really cool. Our neighborhood here, I'm pretty sure almost everybody's gonna be doing Halloween.
Yeah, pretty much.
It'll be cool. So, I don't know, maybe I'll have some cool pictures from displays or videos and stuff like that.
We just passed one when we drove here, so.
Yeah, I hope there's, I haven't really checked the neighborhood out. I haven't had time, but
I guess
I can grab one of them little fish before we go, and I'll be back to show it to people, but I don't know.
So, This is the second album in like the list of 1996 albums that I've been picking.
Yeah.
Last week we did Outkast, and this week is Dayton Family. So it's FBI. Came out in 1996.
Fuck me and Dayton.
Yes.
That album there, when you mentioned that, I really realized that a lot of the aggression, certain flow patterns when you get the aggression going, and not only that, straight up honesty with certain things. Aside from a little bit of, 3-6 Mafia, Dayton Family is the first cast to like openly talk about snorting lines of coke, just wilding out, and here's the thing with this album, it's cool that it came out of Michigan because it might be the most accurate, realistic, fucking honest, real gangster rap album ever.
Yeah, for sure.
When he's name dropping the mayor, he's talking about cases that really happened. He's talking about people that really got shot. You know what I'm saying? The Dayton Family thing was like, honestly, kind of an influence on me because I was living that certain lifestyle at the time. Kind of like Jeezy kept cats moving, with his shit at one point. That's what ours was, because our shit was wild. Like, gangbanging, fighting, violence, everything ran hand in hand with hustling. I've said it before, I said it in rap, and I said it on here. If you wasn't a gangster, man, you wasn't getting a plug. You couldn't be a businessman. You know what I'm saying? You had to make your bones, you had to earn your stripes, you had to be connected to a very violent group of people usually. And so this was kind of our soundtrack. That was the way we was living. Very realistic gangster rap album. Some of the best production I've ever heard. The production on this, you could say it's kind of West Coast. There's a lot of keys and a lot of dramatic strings and stuff like that, but it's not West Coast. I mean, that might be what it's closest to, but it's kind of a whole different lane for amped up, violent gangster rap, reality rap, I'll call it. Because it really was reality rap. So it had its own sound. So that was influential too. So from the sonic aspect of it, to the aggressive flow, to the realism, to it being a soundtrack at those times, to it going better than gold, damn near platinum, coming out of Flint.
Yep. That
let underground rappers know that, look, man, you could be from E-Course, you could be from Downriver, you could be from fucking Monroe. I said Monroe. Monroe, you could be from wherever and possibly go platinum. You know what I'm saying? So, there's that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, big shout out to the Dayton Family. Definitely an influence. Real shit.
Yeah, I still bump that shit to this day.
Yeah, for real. And I still find myself like
every
rapping.
single
Nickel-plated,
fucking word.
At least like every other day. Like,
Every
for real.
word.
So, hell yeah. I'm in this motherfucking dope game.
Long can't fuck with me.
What's on my mind is sad looks of smaller kids' faces, knowing they daddy doing 20 for some drug
I
cases.
used
That
to
shit
play
hit me right there.
the What's on
Like-
My Mind songs when like loud as hell in my room, like
Yeah,
blaring.
you said songs.
So
you
that-
know this was their second album.
Yeah, I know. So that way my my mom was like scared of that.
It was aggressive, man. Like I said, it was some of the most
Yeah,
aggressive
what's on my
rap
mind
you
is a
ever heard.
motherfucking murder. And she was like, what the fuck is that?
My man says smoking Sherm got me tripping. I'll smash your face through a wall. Like, that was another thing. My man talking about smoking Sherm and shit and getting like that violent, just insane.
Are we
Yeah, no
doing,
bites.
you jumping to like the serious topic, or were we doing,
There's a story right now that nobody's running with. I shouldn't say nobody, but only like the intellectuals, the YouTube guys and shit like that are running with it. I don't see it on my Facebook timeline. I don't even see it on major news networks' websites. I mean, it could be they're buried, but I'm saying where the average person's going to see it. There's an antitrust suit against Google that's been filed by the U.S. government. This is fucking huge. I mean, this is Google we're talking about. And then basically they're trying to intervene because Google has become a monopoly. I mean, it used to be a little bit split up, but now come to find out Google controls 90%. I should say controls, that isn't the right word, but Google is the proprietor of 90% of all online searches. The issue here is, okay, I have libertarian beliefs Actually, a lot of people these days do. And technically, we feel that the government should never interfere with business. It's all free enterprise. Government should stay out of it, just like with marriage, just like with fucking everything else, even abortion, whatever. Government should have no say-so in any of that. But Google's no longer just a business. Google is like an institution. And I'll give an example. When somebody wants to keep up with current events, wants to cast a vote, even wants to gather some information to pass a major exam in college, they're going to Google it. Exactly. And the problem with that is everybody knows that people at Google's politics lean one way. You can pay to, register a little higher with the search engines. There's ways to do that even for the average business. You just got to kick out enough and figure out how to work the system. But when you have one provider doing 90%, this guy's coming around this corner too quick, man. Can he fit?
Yeah, you got plenty
don't
of room.
Bitch, you got plenty of room. When you have one provider doing 90%, it's like straight up, even if they don't mean to, if their algorithm is swaying a little bit one way, 90% of the country is basically going to be taught in that way. They're learning from Google. They're referencing from Google. They're getting their personal opinions and business opinions and everything else from Google. Practically their instructions on life, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is that Google's become an institution. Take the universities, for instance. The government intervenes and lays down rules for that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the government should be intervening. I don't know what the right way to approach it is as far as changing an algorithm or breaking the company up or whatever, but there should be some sort of restriction in there or it's not a total monopoly. I'm not saying to limit their income, to limit their reach in other ways, but it's gotten to the point where it's too influential, to the point where it's corrupt. Whether it's on purpose or not, it doesn't matter. The outcome is corrupt.